Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from createyourself.today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today is Monday and we are back in Russia for a couple of weeks. So we came back from Valencia and from Inspire Food or Future of Food conference organized by EIT Food, the biggest organization around food policies in Europe. Probably that was formed independently from the government, I mean. And so the conference was all about ideas and collaborations and projects that we could work on to recreate our food system, to create a better food system. And we also, there was Anthony Warner. He's a food blogger, the Angry Chef, that you can find him on social media and online in general. He's a writer, he is a blogger, popular columnist, chef. And there was also a comedian who taught us the value of humor in presenting any of our ideas and food ideas, including, because at the end of the day, if you want to bring any ideas into the public, into mainstream, we gotta make it fun and we gotta make it entertaining and engaging, and that goes to any idea, any sorts of the message that we want to spread around and make it mainstream. Anyhow, we talked at the conference about the future of our food system and what it means, a better food system, right? And we all agreed that the food system needs to provide nutrition that we all human beings need in the easiest way. It also gotta be sustainable. It gotta be good for the planet. It gotta put back the resources that we take from our land. We gotta use our land and our earth resources responsibly. We also agreed that this kind of food, nutritious, good quality food, should be available to everyone. And even though world hunger dropped by 27%, I believe, we still have about 800 million people who go hungry and undernourished in different countries around the world, and not just in underdeveloped countries or still developing countries, like maybe some countries in India or in Southeast Asia and in Africa, in South America, but also in the most developed countries like United Kingdom or United States. Everywhere, the problem of hunger and food inequality, it exists, and sometimes it grows, even though, again, world hunger dropped a lot. So it means that we are moving, but also that we still have it also means that we still have some work to do. So we talked about different diets and our food systems, and what are some of the negative effects or negative sides of our food system. Like, for example, we're still focused, on yields, on increasing calories per person, even though in developed countries where we all are, who are on this podcast, we don't have the problem of getting enough calories. We have too many calories, and that's the problem with all the lifestyle diseases. So when people eat too much, or the foods that do not supply nutrition needs but supply more than enough calories, hijacking our brain to make us eat more, and plus we waste a lot of food. We don't know how to manage our food behaviors. We don't know how to make proper food choices, and food system doesn't help us to do that. We grow and produce our food unsustainably, getting resources, too many resources, but never putting anything back in our environment. And with growing population, that is going to be what they predict, about 10 billion people by 2050. We can't do that anymore. We will get more resources from our earth that we can sustainably maintain, especially for our growing population. So anyhow, there are so many aspects to our food system that we still need to work on, and of course one of those that I'm really passionate about, and I refocused people at the conference, was the nutrition value of our foods, because we can have the most sustainable and wasteless food system in the world, but if we can't feed ourselves and support our health with that, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the system is sustainable if we're all gonna die of some sort of malnutrition or degenerative diseases. So we not only need to focus on sustainability, but we also gotta focus on nutrition and on health of our foods. And even though some people believe that it's not important, then we just gotta eat everything little by little. But the problem with our food system is that it creates too many empty foods that do not supply, that do not give us, that do not satisfy our nutrition needs. And because we are all rushed, we don't have time for choices, for thinking about all our nutrition needs and learning about them. We are all short on time, and our attention is drawn into so many directions. We just a lot of times make the choices that are not healthy, that are not nutritious most of the time, and that's how a lot of people end up being malnourished, but overstuffed or overfat. And so again, even though people think that, for example, different healthy diets or clean eating is just a distraction, or it causes more anxiety and more worries, I personally believe that through design of better food system, we do need to implement some restrictions, not so much restrictions, or to help us consumers to make better choices without us having to have nutrition degree and think about all of these nutrients. And diets have a good thing going for them. It helps us to save time on choices and to make better for us decisions without having to without having to think about moderation or eating certain foods for their nutrition quality. The good things about different diet theories and the different diet strategies is that helps people, you and me, and anyone who is trying to be on some sort of diet, be that vegan, vegetarian, or carnivore or keto diet, is it helps us to some degree to make better for us choices, right? Even though they're not perfect, but they eliminate a lot of choice and a lot of anxieties. Most often than not, helping us to make better food choices, not eating all the junk that is available and that is advertised aggressively to us. At this point in our food system, in our supermarkets, no matter where you shop for food, unhealthy food is really aggressively advertised to us, and we make those poor choices not because we love unhealthy food so much, and we are so crazy about it, but because it's everywhere, and it's basically stuffed into our mouths by being, at a checkout, by being so readily available everywhere. Whereas, in order for you to get healthy, nutritious foods, you gotta go extra mile. You gotta pass through all this advertising. You gotta educate yourself a little bit more to make better nutrition choices. You gotta cook more. You gotta put effort and energy into that, and that's why healthy eating is so much more difficult. Not because we just love that, again, fast food and processed food so much, but because healthy food at the moment is more difficult to eat and to obtain, and very often it's pricier. That's what I hear from a lot of my clients. They don't eat healthy food all the time, not because they don't like it, but because it's just too inconvenient or too difficult or too complicated. And also the price, for a lot of people, is an issue. And that's why a lot of people, especially people who are with lower incomes, or just people who need to watch their budget, because of their family or because of something else, price is also an issue. And in the book that I'm reading right now, The Way We Eat Now, How the Food Revolution Has Transformed Our Lives, Our Bodies, and Our World, there is even statistics saying that when the price for healthy food drops, people get healthier by eating that less expensive food. So the less expensive healthy food is, the more convenient it is, the healthier people eat. So we know what is good for us and what is healthy, but at this time our food system just doesn't doesn't motivate us to eat healthier, to eat better, but instead advertising to us and promoting and making it so cheap and convenient, all the unhealthy foods. And I believe that's an unethical aspect of our food system that needs to be changed. Healthy, good for us behaviors need to be promoted. It's not like that I'm saying that we shouldn't sell soda or we shouldn't sell this or that. I'm just saying that we should, good for us, options make more convenient, more affordable, more available, and not good for us options we should make available, but not heavily promoted, not aggressively promoted, not being so cheap and so convenient, and just being offered everywhere. So that's what I believe we need to do. But before we do that, before healthy choices are available and more convenient, and are easy to make, today I want to give you again the basic rules of healthy eating, how you, without having to be on any sort of diet or counting your calories or macros or micros, without counting anything, how to change your eating behavior to eat better, and ultimately to feel better, to have more health, and to not having to struggle with all sorts of degenerative diseases, or lack of energy, or lack of enthusiasm for life, not having to struggle with all that. How to eat healthy, simple. So these are a few rules and shortcuts that will help you to navigate our not so healthy food system. So number one, things to avoid. Sugars, all sorts of added sugars, be that honey, be that any sorts of high fructose syrup, corn syrup, cane syrup, the evaporated cane juice, basically do not have added sugars, and that also connects to one of the rules that I'll tell you later. But by not having processed foods with a lot of ingredients, you're gonna avoid a lot of added sugars by default. So the next thing to avoid is processed grains, and by processed grains I mean anything that is not a whole grain. So any bread, any pasta, anything made into flour from grains, it's not great for you guys. All the research show this. So sugars, processed grains, vegetable oils like sunflower, safflower. Again, research shows that the more vegetable oils you eat, the more oxidized fats you eat. That's why, fried food is so bad for you. Not that the temperature is bad, it's the oil that is added that is bad for you. So vegetable oil, sunflower, safflower, canola, cottonseed, all of these oils, guys, eliminate them, and they're everywhere in prepared foods, prepackaged foods, all the cooked meals, almost all of them, all the restaurants, all the takeouts. That's why you need to either cook your food in advance, meal prep, cook in bulk, or get it from a place that doesn't use those oils. Find out that, guys, that is a huge health and fat gain contributor. So dairy products, we already talked on the last episode about the quality of our dairy. So dairy products, the way they are produced right now, they're bad for you guys. That's plain and simple. If you're not getting your food from some farm, your dairy from some farm, then this dairy gonna cause inflammation and all sorts of digestive issues. And yeah, I'm not gonna kill you right away, but guys, you're gonna die sooner with more diseases. So that's all I'm saying. So this is the foods to avoid. Rule number 2 is how to actually eat your meals, healthy meals. So each of your meal, 3/4 of your plate should be all sorts of colorful and green vegetables, cooked or fresh. Then you gotta have like a hand size portion of your protein rich food, and those are fish, those are eggs, those are or poultry, those are any sorts of meat. The better quality, of course, the better it is for you. I'm not gonna talk in details about quality here, but so 3/4 of your plate is vegetables, 1/4 is healthy protein, and then you can have like a cup of cooked, rice or beans or quinoa, whatever grain or starch, or sweet potato. So starch, all, a cup per meal. Having, for example, 3 meals a day, that's more than you need, guys. So this is a basic blueprint for your healthy meal. So again, vegetables, again, protein, and starchy things like sweet potatoes or some beans or some whole grains. Rule number 3 is don't snack, have 3 meals, guys. So again, really simple, no snacking, 3 meals or 2 meals, whatever you feel like, but no snacks. Number 4, leave desserts for special occasions, and those special occasions shouldn't be more than once a week. And it's not like you're gonna have a whole cake, have a small portion. Even better, share it with someone. So desserts should be saved for special occasions. If you can eat something every day, it doesn't mean you should. So if you can have sugar every day, it doesn't mean you should. As simple as that, guys. That comes from my personal and professional experience, as a nutritionist, as a health coach. So desserts should be once in a while, special occasions kind of thing. And any sorts of added sugar including in that. And then last but not least, number 5 is don't buy packaged foods or all sorts of snacky foods, packaged foods, anything that is not whole foods. Don't buy it on a regular basis. First of all, don't snack, right? And then second of all, have packaged foods as an emergency situation. And by packaged foods, again, I mean processed foods with a lot of ingredients, with preservatives, with added colorings, all of this. Have it is, no matter what the macros are, have it once in a while, not every single day. That's it. To sum it up again, guys, 5 rules for healthy eating without having to be on any diet or count anything. So things to avoid: sugar, processed grains, vegetable oils, dairy products. Number 2, when you eat your meals, eat your vegetables green and colorful, non-starchy, 3/4 of your plate, hand-sized portion of protein-rich foods like fish, like eggs, like poultry, like meat, like organ meats, and then have a cup or a handful of starchy stuff like whole grains or like quinoa, for example, or buckwheat, and then or beans or sweet potatoes. So, and that is a healthy meal blueprint. Number 3, guys, don't snack, have meals. Number 4, leave desserts for special occasions. And number 5, leave packaged foods with a lot of ingredients for emergency situation. It's not a good quality meal or a meal substitution, guys. And for dessert, for your mind, I'm going to read you a few interesting quotes that I find to be very interesting and informative, and also useful. So I'm going to read you from a book that I've just finished, The Way We Eat Now, How the Food Revolution Has Transformed Our Lives, Our Bodies, and Our World. So, for example, a small study published in 2017 involving 16 people with type 2 diabetes found that leaving carbohydrates to the end of the meal and eating protein and vegetables first. So basically you eat, for example, your meal of vegetables, of protein, and I don't know, beans or some grains, right? So if you eat your vegetables and your protein first, and then you eat your starchy foods or whatever carbohydrates are left, like for example, food, then that lowers your blood sugar more effectively than eating carbohydrates first. So again, vegetables and proteins, plus it, guys, it has the additional benefit of stimulating your appetite or making you less hungry when you eat your vegetables and your protein first, especially if you take time and chew well, and your carbohydrates, and you will have less hunger for your carbohydrates, and that will help you to manage your satiety better, and also will help you to reduce weight and maintain weight much easier. The second thing that I really love to read to you guys is about bread. You know how it seems like everybody these days is trying to avoid gluten or bread or something, and they say that 1/3 of population in US, for example, is trying to avoid gluten in some way or the other. But also, it seems that allergies or some sort of sensitivities to gluten are on the rise. And one of the reasons might be that the kind of bread and pastries and processed grain products that are available on the market today. So I'm going to read you something about sourdough bread that was the only bread that was available before our food revolution and before we kind of transformed sourdough bread into modern bread that is fast and is not done the same way as sourdough used to be made. It's still made, but most bread that you find commercially available is bread that is not sourdough. And so sourdough, it uses special starter with microbes. And those microbes digest gluten, meaning that real sourdough should either be low in gluten or gluten-free. So basically what it means is the way our bread used to be made with these microbes and time that allowed those microbes to eat the gluten or digest gluten, all of it or part of it, and also lowering the carbohydrates in that bread. So why a lot of people are more sensitive to gluten these days, or have problems digesting bread and processed grain products, is because most of the bread, again, makers, they're not using those microbes, and so all the gluten that is available in wheat products or other grains that have gluten, like rye, for example, so all this gluten is eaten by people, whereas before, in the times of sourdough, microbes and time would eliminate a huge part of that gluten. And that's why people didn't have problems with that bread that much, because it was made in a different way. And so, guys, if you are not someone who wants to give up bread completely, then opt out for sourdough bread. So do the research, figure out where it's made, where you can get fresh, good quality sourdough, maybe from bakery that can be delivered to you, or maybe from your local shop. Sourdough is the bread that's going to be the most beneficial to your gut, and it's also going to be much lower in carbohydrates and much lower in gluten. So if you have problems with non-sourdough bread, you might not have problems with sourdough bread, guys. So try it out and see. That's something interesting that I read to you from Food Unfolded magazine that I got at the conference, at the Future of Food conference. So today, guys, to sum up, I give you the few rules, guidelines to make better eating choices. If you have questions about any of those guidelines, always feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate to reach out. For the rest of the week for food school, I'm not sure exactly what we're going to be doing, but it's going to be something practical, something that will help you make better food choices. I'm going to be doing quite a few interviews this week also, so next week we will have more guests on the podcast. In conclusion, guys, food is not just fuel. Food delivers nutrients that are essential for life, for your health, and your well-being. Our body is very resilient, and it won't suffer profoundly right away when you don't eat all the nutrients that you need, but it will suffer, and the often you lack essential nutrients, fatty acids, vitamins, and minerals, the more you're going to suffer later in life. And also you might be suffering already by not having enough energy, by not being in the best mental state, by not having energy to exercise, by having pain, so inflammation, all these things that doctors will tell you, they just the signs of your body mysteriously breaking down. Those all things can be eliminated by nutrition for the most part. So choose the most nutritious foods available to you. They are worth it because your life worth it, your health worth it, and you're gonna have so much better food experience if you eat the healthiest diet possible and available to you. Also, guys, wanted to remind you that an express coaching session where I'm gonna help you navigate your food environment, your lifestyle environment to feel better, to look better, to maintain and lose weight. Express session with me is available to you. Sign up using the link in the show notes. Have an awesome week. Do something that is meaningful to you. Aspire to inspire others to do the same. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.